Okay. Today is Sunday. I'm late due to certain reasons. I have to keep my cell phones charged, and then the dongle, my internet connection also, this has to be charged. So many things. See, this charge is not there. This will go away. This will stop any time. I hope it will run our few minutes. Let us see. Anyway, we have half an hour, 35 minutes. Okay. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurus Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Narayana. So in the 7th chapter, we were discussing Jnani's Vyavahara from 17th shloka to 25 shloka. From the 17th shloka to 25th shloka, almost the end of the chapter. We have come to the end of the chapter. There is one last two shlokas of the 5th chapter, or 2 or 3, let us say. Last 2 or 3 shlokas are introduction to the 6th chapter, that is meditation. So the last topic is the Jnani's behavior. How he behaves. Behaves means how he carries out his convention, his transactions, his interaction with things and beings around. That means we are not talking about him as a person. See how Jnani behaves. When we ask this question, we are not interested in his personal behavior. Okay. We are interested how, what effect, what change Jnana brings about in a person. How an ignorant person behaves, and how Jnana makes the difference in his interaction. Interaction means your understanding, your thinking of them, your understanding of them, you are talking about them, and you are dealing with them, all the three. Your understanding of them, that is your thinking of them, you are talking about them, and you are relating to them. All these three put together is called Vyavahara. Vyavahara is a technical term in Vedanta. Vyavahara means pratyaya, shabda, pratyaya, vyapadesha, cheshtacha. Swamiji says these three. See, my Vyavahara means, what do I understand, a thing or a person? Let us take a person. Just to explain what is Vyavahara, I am giving you. What do you understand? How do you understand? How do you look upon a person? And then second is, how do you talk about the person? And then how do you relate to the person? How do you exchange, interact with him? This is the thing. And regarding an object also, what do you understand about this object? What are your views about this object? And how do you talk about it? And how do you relate to it? Means how do you use it? How do you relate to it? These three behavior, through your mind, through your speech, through your action, through your body and sense organs. Through these three, how you understand, how you relate to them is called Vyavahara. So Vyavahara is a technical term. Your transactions with other person. So here, how Jnani behaves. How Jnani behaves here, as I told you already, I just repeat, we are not discussing his personal behavior. We are only discussing his understanding, his talking about the world, and his behaving with the world, with the people and things in the world. How his Vyavahara is influenced by his jnanam, his enlightenment, his understanding of the truth. When he understands himself to be Brahman, and in his common parlance, when he is interacting with others, how does his understanding of himself as Brahman affect his relationship, his understanding of the world? See, in his day-to-day behavior, transactions, interactions with people around, how does his understanding affect him? Or in spite of his understanding, will he behave the same way? Or if there is a change in his understanding and behavior, what is that change? In how and in what level? What level this change takes place in him? Okay. In his understanding of him. So he says, Yesham jnanena nashitam atmano ajnanam. This is an introduction to the 18th shloka. Yesham jnanena nashitam atmano ajnanam. Whose ajnanam means his self-identity is destroyed. By the right understanding of his Atma nature, he understands that he is a pure consciousness which is immortal and all-pervasive and happy. He is not a limited individual bound to the body, mind and sense organs. When a person understands or wakes up to this reality of his own nature, then ajnanam nashitam, that means his ajnanam, his misunderstanding is corrected. He stays in his real nature. Okay, such a person, te panditaha katham tattvam pashyanti. How do they see that truth in his day-to-day behavior, in all his interactions? Does he miss that vision of Atma, his understanding of Atma while interacting with the world and people? Does his worldly behavior overpower his understanding? Generally, we understand certain things, like scientists understand, doctors understand that these things are harmful, but in their personal life, they get attracted to things and end up eating what is harmful to your health. Though doctor knows it is not good for health, but still he eats and drinks and do certain things. So, as a principle, we know something, but in our behavior, we get carried away by our own normal human weaknesses and thoughts. Now here question comes, does Jnani's understanding that I am Brahman, does it reflect in his seeing the world also? How does he see the world? Does he see the world also as the same Brahman? In the previous shloka, 17th shloka, Tadbuddhayaha tadatmanaha tannishtaha tatparayanaha. In this shloka, Jnani's understanding of Atman was taught. In this present shloka, that is 18th shloka, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. In this 18th, the present which we are discussing, the same Jnani's understanding of Brahman is shown with reference to the world. That means he understands the Brahman as a basis of the world also, basis of all other jivas. In the previous shloka, 17th shloka, he understood himself beyond his individuality as the pure consciousness. That means he transcends his individuality in his understanding of himself. His understanding doesn't stop with body, mind and sense organs. His understanding about himself doesn't stop with body, mind and sense organs, doesn't rest upon the body, mind and sense organs. His identity is something beyond body, beyond mind and beyond sense organs. Body, mind and sense organs may be there, but his identity doesn't depend upon these things. His identity is something else. That means his existence for himself is beyond the body. See, he may appear to exist for others through the body. He may appear to exist as an individual through others. He may be behaving, he may be acting like an individual through others. He may appear to others as an acting as an individual, thinking as an individual, but to himself, he ceases to be an individual. See, this is an important point. Jnani, an enlightened person, ceases to be an individual for himself. His individual weaknesses, individual fear of death, individual birth and death and all those things don't form part of his understanding. In his understanding, he is something more than an individual, beyond an individuality. That means the birth and death doesn't disturb him. The life sufferings and then what you call gain and loss, honor and dishonor, all these pertain to individuality. Since it transcends individuality, means what? What does it mean? In his understanding of himself, he is not disturbed by life's ups and downs, gain and loss, life and death. It doesn't disturb him because he sees them, they are just a passing events, tentative events like in a drama. He doesn't get disturbed by them because he knows he is not them. So Jnani, when he understands himself, he is not acting, he is not bound by the duties. That means, as an individual, you are bound by the body, mind and sense organs. Then you have a responsibility how to behave, how to act towards others. See, once you are an individual, you are part of the world. You are part of a society. You are a part of your family. Okay. Now you are using your body. You are supposed to follow certain values, certain discipline regarding the body. You can't eat anything, sleep anything, do anything. Okay. You can't sleep any time and get it. That means you have to follow certain rules of the body. Otherwise, body will be affected. Okay. Similarly, you have a social responsibility, family responsibility. This responsibility brings, if you follow the responsibility, fulfill the responsibility, you get punyam. If you disobey, you are committing a mistake of your relational mistake. You as an individual related to the world. It is a religious mistake. Okay? Religious means you incur sin. Papa, you incur papa. Because a relation brings about certain responsibilities. So, when he transcends individuality, he doesn't have the psychological weaknesses in the wake of individuality. That is the fear of birth and death. Worry about the money and status. Okay? Honor and dishonor. Accumulations. Insecurity. He is free from insecurity. He is free from fear of death. He is free from gain and loss. He is free from his life's achievements and failures. They don't disturb him. So, in this sense, we discussed in the 17th shloka, in this sense, he transcends individuality. Individuality is only a medium to interact with the world, not for himself. Himself is not an individual. He knows he is beyond it. So, he is a pure existence, pure consciousness. To himself is consciousness. See, a common man, your achievements show you, give you confidence. Your failures in life undermine your confidence. You are shaken. If you are failure in life, you are shaken. If you are humiliated by the world, if you are boycotted by the world and society, you get disturbed. So this is a common man's, ignorant man's. But an enlightened man, even if he is disturbed by the society, even if he is hurt by the society, boycotted by the society, that individuality is that whatever an individuality is treated, he transcends that. Therefore, he is not affected by how the society behaves with you. In your understanding, you get shaken. Psychologically, you don't get shaken. Okay? Mind remains free and happy, natural and spontaneous. He is not hurt by the society's behavior. He is not elated by the society's honoring and respecting and helping you. Because the honor, dishonor doesn't influence him. It remains unaffected. He takes it naturally. All the honors, dishonors, he takes them playfully. So, his understanding of himself is beyond his individuality. Individuality is just a play for him. Playfully he plays as an individual. So that individuality is just a play, a role he plays in it, like in a drama. Therefore, with reference to the world, not to himself. To himself is beyond his individuality. He rests in that. It is a spontaneous, natural existence. He knows, I am not a part of the world. Like when you are dreaming, you are part of the dream world. You are affected by the dream world. Good and bad and gain and loss, all that affects you because you are an individual who is a part of the dream world. Once you wake up, how do you relate to the dream world? It's an interesting thing here. Once you wake up, how do you relate to your dream world? Do you still feel that you are a part of the dream? But you remember all the events and people, everything you see them. But do you feel that you are part of them or you are out of them? Or another, when you are watching a drama or a film on the TV screen or on your cell phone, you are only watching the film. You are not a part of the film. You are not an actor. You are not a character in the film or in the drama, in the story. When you are reading a story, a novel, you are a reader outside. You are not a part of, you are not assuming a character in the drama or in the story. Similarly, Jnani doesn't feel that he is a part of the world. He feels he is out of the world, untouched by the world. This is his understanding of himself because he is all pervasive. He is pure consciousness. So he is not, he plays the role as a character he plays, but himself is an actor, like an actor, not part of the world. Like when you wake up from the dream, you are not part of the dream. You remember, yet you are not part of the dream. You remember as somebody outsider. Outsider means who is not affected, who doesn't carry the feelings of good and bad and gain and loss and all that. All those feelings and experiences, fear, honor, happiness, elation, joy, rejoicing, all that of the dream world doesn't exist for him. All the emotions, all the feelings, ups and downs, good and bad, gain and loss, all those things, your fear and assurance, fear and then some kind of a what you call assurance, confidence, all those things pertain to the dream individual, not to the waker. Once you wake up, you are free from that. You understand, oh, it's all dream. It never existed for me. Similarly, Jnani wakes up to another level where he is not subjected to these individuals' sufferings, problems, and all that. So this is enlightenment. Okay, is free from all the problems and sufferings of an individual. Okay, this was the 17th shloka. Now when he understands, is this understanding an eternal, natural one? Understanding means awakening. Does he stay in that awakened state, or again it becomes blurred and covered up, and again he loses them, and again he falls into individuality, falls into the level of individuality? Does he retain it all the time? Yes, he retains, because it is not a tentatively acquired state of mind. Enlightenment is not a state of mind. It is not an acquired, it is not an induced state, because enlightenment is your natural state. If it is an induced, affected state, it will stay for a time. That's why we told about the heaven and all other worlds are affected ones, induced ones by your karmas and rituals and all religious actions, purities, meditations, and so on. So in these things, your mind assumes a state. It is an induced state of going to heaven and all that. But Atma Jnanam is an awakening to your real nature. It is you. It is not an acquired state. It is just choiceless existence. So this enlightenment is a what you call discovery of your state, over which the state which cannot be manipulated by any act. You can neither miss it nor you can gain it. It is there all the time. You only discover it. Therefore, a person who is enlightened He understands that he has been all the time outside the world. He is not a part of the world. He has never been part of the world. That means worldly activities, good and bad, it doesn't hurt him, doesn't affect him. He remains totally untouched by them. Like a person who wakes up from dream, understands that he is not at all touched by any of the events in dream, good and bad. None of them affect him. So this discovery of yourself as something who can never be touched by any event in the world, this is called an enlightenment. Like a mirror, whatever reflections you see in the mirror, the surface of the mirror, they appear but don't touch the mirror, isn't it? Various reflections appear in the mirror, but mirror itself remains unaffected by it, untouched by it, uninvolved. Similarly, enlightenment is untouched by the worldly events, occurrences, good and bad, and whatever it is, gain and loss. None of them affects him. He is totally free for himself. This is a discovery. This is an understanding. Okay. Now, when he is enlightened, he understands himself. But how does he see the world and people around? How does he see the people around? Earlier, he was looking at the people as an individual. In individual, you see all human beings, all animals, they are not same. He gives an example here in the 18th shloka, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, a Brahmana who is highly educated man and highly cultured gentleman, a saintly person. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. One side, there is a highly educated, cultured gentleman, a saintly man, is a Brahmana. Second is Gavi. Gavi means cow. Cow is an animal, but among the animals it is gentle and useful animal. Unlike the wild animals like tiger, as soon as they see you, they attack you, they kill you. But cow is a very gentle animal. And Hastini. Hasti is an elephant. Elephant is powerful. It is useful, but not so gentle like cow. Because sometimes it gets angry, it will just mouls you. Okay. So elephant is elephant. So one is Brahmana, highly cultured, education, saintly Brahmana. Second is cow, a cow. Third is an elephant. Fourth is a dog. Dog is non-vegetarian. Unlike cows and elephants. Cows and elephants are, cow is like a Brahmana. Elephant is like a Kshatriya. Okay. Both are vegetarians. Among the animals too, some are vegetarian, some are non-vegetarian. It is a strange thing to see. Who created them like that? They are. That's how they are. Some are vegetarian animals, some are non-vegetarians. They become vegetarian, non-vegetarian not by choice, not by culture. Animals become vegetarian, non-vegetarian not by culture. It's natural, instinctive to them. Certain animals eat grass instinctively. Nobody teaches them. And certain animals don't. They eat only flesh, only meat. So, dog is one such an animal. That means in India, dog is considered as worse than other animals. Cow is gentle. Elephant is also, to some extent, it is a vegetarian. Like a tiger. Tiger has got jaws and nails. And never it sees goes and attacks. So tiger, lion, they are harmful animals. Cow, if you are going that way, it just doesn't mind. In fact, it looks at you. It doesn't hurt you unnecessarily. Unless you attack, it won't hurt you. But a tiger and lion, as you see you, instantly come to you and attack a person. So, therefore, the animals are also different. One is a cow and elephant, and another is dog. Dog is a wild animal because it eats non-vegetarian, it barks at people, and it bites also. It only is nice with a person who looks after it, who gives food to it. A dog is not good to people in general. If a stranger comes, it barks. Still, if it tries to enter, it bites him. Therefore, dog is considered as a still lower animal compared to cows and elephants. Though people use it at home because it is useful, it immediately attacks. You bring up a cow not as a watchman. Dog is a watchman among the animals, isn't it? Dog is a watchman among the animals, or you can say a soldier, a bodyguard. Okay, a watchman or a bodyguard. It looks after your house and the people. Cows don't do that. See the difference. That means a person holding a weapon. A person holding a weapon is a security guard. He holds a weapon. That means he is somewhat harsh, rough and harsh. It doesn't allow anybody to enter your house because you have kept him as a guard. Similarly, dog is a little wild animal, harsh animal because it uses a weapon. Even if you don't attack it, it barks at you. Isn't it? But whereas cows and others don't do that. Therefore, dog is, anyway, in different cultures in different countries, it is felt differently. I think dog is the highest animal probably in America and such other countries. It is becoming a culture now. In Indians are second-hand fellows. I'm sorry to say. Indians are second-hand fellows. They just can't think. They lost their brains to Britishers and Mughals. They have given away all their brains and they have become second-hand people. Anyway, most of the people, there are some intelligent and understanding, cultured people. They study their Shastras. So those people are rare few people. We have to call Hindus as a rare few Hindus who know the Shastra, who know Hinduism from the roots and live it boldly, happily, not as a helplessly. They dress up, they eat the food, they follow cultures, our music and Ayurveda, and live philosophy, follow the spiritual sadhana and reach moksha. So these are the people, traditional, original Hindus. Okay. But other people are alienated. So therefore, we are unable to evaluate the nature of animals. Whatever others do, Americans bring up dog, therefore we not only bring up, they started treating dogs as a human beings. It sleeps on your mattress, in your house, on your bed. So you treat it as a soft bed. Tomorrow they will give her what you call pant and shirt and tie and give them brush its teeth, and also I don't know what all they give. They brush its teeth and drink them coffee and give them coffee and also shake hand and everything. So they are not allowing the animal to live like an animal. They are making animal into a human being. This is too artificial. So as a dog is treated as a lesser animal compared to cow and elephant and such things. Because cow and elephants are harmless. Elephant is of course a little bit. If elephant is not in a mood, it hurts you. Otherwise it doesn't. What you call horse. Horse is also a good domesticable, good animal. Anyway, so here Shuni. Chaiva Shvapake cha. Another is an Antyaja. Antyaja means, how to translate? Shvapaka. Shvapaka really means a person who cooks the meat of dog. A person who eats dog's meat is considered as a lowest person. Lowest in culture and values. Okay. A primitive person, like a primitive person, old and time, blindly follows. So, Shvapakecha. In all these beings, how many things we have done? First, a saintly Brahmana. Second, a cow. Third is an elephant. Fourth is a dog. Fifth is a Chandala. Or you call him an untouchable. So, in all these people, an enlightened man is a Samadarshi. Samadarshi means who sees similarly, who sees in the same way, doesn't distinguish. So, this, some people have interpreted that socially interacting with people with an equal feeling, equal thought, all are same, all are similar. Treat them equally. This social equality is what people think Bhagavan Krishna is teaching. There is no reference to society here, but it is wrong because it is not a social interaction, political interaction Bhagavan Krishna is talking about. He is talking about the spirituality, Atma nature. How you transcend the world and the individuality and stay as a Brahman. So with that enlightenment, how does an enlightened man look at the world and the worldly people, animals and human beings? Does he still see them as animals, human beings? Of course, to the eyes they appear as animals alone. In your mind you see them what is dog and what is cow and all that. So, he is a Jnani, sees all of them equally. Equally means what? Samadarshi. How to translate? Sama is same. Same means the same truth. So here, since it is a Vedantic context, since it is an Atma Jnanam, we don't interpret it as a social value of social equality, inequality, how to treat people. All that is a different level. Here Bhagavan Krishna is talking about the enlightened state, enlightenment, that is an Atma, awakening to your consciousness, your real nature of Atma. So once you wake up or you are awakened to that level, you become pure, you understand yourself to be pure consciousness and existence. Same thing you see in others also. Because your understanding of yourself is not as an individual self. Your transcending individuality means you who is not an individual. That understanding is beyond your individuality. Okay. Therefore, how his enlightenment, that means is seeing the Atma, experiencing the Atma. He sees the Atma in the worldly people also, worldly people, animals and all various things also. Otherwise, people think that he is enlightened. Enlightenment is a personal matter. Enlightenment is not an experience of a person. It is transcending the very personality. See the difference. Enlightenment is not an experience of an individual. It is transcending the individuality and stay as a non-individual consciousness, all pervasive and everything. Okay. When he himself is the Atma, consciousness, how does he look at the worldly events? Worldly events, how does he see the people, animals? And he says, Samadarshinaha. He sees equally. Equally means what? Not a social. We are not talking about the social. It is a Vedantic way of equally. in Vedantic way means he sees Brahman as the basis, like gold is the common basis for various ornaments. Various gold ornaments, they are of different, one is a necklace, another is a bangle, another is a ring, another is a earring, and all that. So in shape wise, various ornaments are different in their shape and in their beauty and utility. Beauty, shape and utility, they vary from one ornament to another ornament. Okay, so you use the ornament accordingly. If it is a ring, you use it, you wear it, you put it on your finger. If it is another ring, you use it here, you hang it through your ears. Or if it is a plate, it is a different, you use it as a plate. If it is a vessel, you use it as a small vessel, small cup. If it is a gold cup, then you use it as a cup. You don't use cup as a hanging on your ears. Okay. So, in a form, gold appears in a form, the form has a certain purpose, certain appearance. It can be used only in one way, some way, not in another way. It can be used only for certain purpose, not for another purpose. Okay. So, as a form, has certain purpose, has certain utility. But as a gold, all ornaments are same. You love certain design of ornament, oh how beautiful it is, I love it. But when it comes to gold, do you mind which ornament it is, which shape it is? When you are buying gold, you see the gold alone, you don't look at the ornament, shape and size and all that. Shape and size are different. But the content, gold is gold, wherever you go in whatever way. Similarly, here, Jnani doesn't lose his awareness of the self, even while looking at the things and interacting with the animals and human beings. He sees all of them are appearances of my Atma alone. Therefore, he doesn't hate them, doesn't ill-treat them. Though he interacts with them according to their capacity and need and all, that's different. According to utility. Okay. I give you in the same illustration, all the ornaments are made of gold. But certain ornament can be used in certain way, not in another way. So out of them, whichever is more desirable to you, more a design, a shape, that particularly you love it most and then you keep it with you. And other ornament, even though it's of gold, you say, no, I don't want this, you leave it. Similarly, in common parlance, in common relationship in human life, you see them, somebody is educated, somebody is officer, somebody is doctor, somebody is engineer, another is another clerk, and another is a servant. So, accordingly you call them, you relate to them, you give the work to them and you relate. You relate to people as people. Somebody having greater power, somebody having less power. Somebody is rich, somebody is poor. Okay, these differences are there. Accordingly you treat him. If he is an educated man, then you will respect him. If he is an illiterate man, then you give him what he wants and then. So this is how we treat them according to their external forms, external qualities. But here Jnani, enlightened man, when he is enlightened, he knows he is the Atma. He sees the same Paramatma as underlying all the living beings, all the animals and all the things. This is the shloka. This is the idea intended to be conveyed through this 18th shloka. So Panditas Samadarshinaha, enlightened people see this equal. So this Sama word has got two meanings. One is a simple meaning is Sama is equal. Another meaning is Sama is Brahman only. See, just as the gold inheres in all the ornaments, as a gold, all are equally gold. Though in their capacities they differ, The ring, the finger's ring and the ear ring are different. Cup is different, gold plate, gold cup is different. Okay? A gold idol of Krishna or Rama or Shiva, gold linga is different. So here, the same gold assumes various form, you treat it accordingly. Because if it is a linga, you use it respectfully, you just don't misbehave with it. Though it is a gold linga, still you treat it as a linga with respectfully. Linga means a Shiva linga I am talking. So here, the individual forms need to be treated differently. Ear ring, here what you call finger ring, ear ring, and all those various instruments. Cup and what you call plate and all that. If they are made of gold, you use them accordingly. So they have to be treated differently. Yet, in spite of this worldly treatment differently, still he understands the inward truth. The truth is underlying all these animals and plants. The same Brahman, same Atma, same consciousness is underlying all these things. It is the truth of all these beings. He understands. Atma is the truth behind all the animals and plants and human beings and everybody. So in their core they are Brahman. In their appearance they have a different shape, different function. Accordingly you respectfully you use them. Whatever purpose, whatever way they are useful. Okay. This is what he says. Samadarshi means he sees the underlying Brahman as the one in spite of superficial differences. Like ornaments look many, but gold is one. You just look inside, all gold is one alone. Ornaments may look different, but the content is one. Similarly here, Brahman is the content, the core, the basis. Okay. Therefore, Samadarshi means he sees Brahman. He never misses Brahman while interacting with any object. This is the point he is trying to convey. Not only he understands himself beyond his individuality, he also sees the world as an expression of various forms of the core Brahman only, the truth, the universal truth. So he sees Samadarshi means he sees the truth in all the living beings and animals. Though they have got external differences are there, but internally they are all one. The universal truth is one. Therefore, this 18th shloka says how Jnani behaves, how he interacts. He sees everything as Brahman. Okay, this is one. Then the next shloka, 2 ನಿಮಿಷ. So in the next shloka 19th, Ihaiva tairjita sargo yesham samye sthitam brahma nirdosham hi samam brahma. That Brahma is samam and nirdosham. Here in this 19th shloka, he is describing Paramatma with the word sama. The same sama meaning Shankara takes it in the 18th shloka. Therefore, he is not talking about the social interactions. He is talking about his understanding their ultimate truth of all these animals and plants and objects in the world. Various objects and living beings, how does he see them? He sees them as rooted in Brahman alone. They are like the various ornaments are seen as the forms of same gold. The same gold appears in various forms. So as a form you use them. See here, 2 levels I am talking. As a form you use accordingly. If it is a cup, you use it as a cup. If it is a plate, if it is a spoon, gold spoon, you use it as a spoon. If it is a ring, you use it as a ring. Okay. If it is a necklace, you use it as a necklace. Here you discriminate. You can't say that, oh, I am equal, so I treat all of them. No. The form is useful in different way. Each form is useful for certain purpose. So you treat it that way. But when you go to the core of it, it is a Brahman alone. Therefore, not only he understands himself to be Brahman by transcending individuality, he sees the apparent world also. The root of the world, the underlying truth of the world is also the same Brahman. That's what it means, the 18th shloka. We will discuss the 19th shloka, I think later. Ihaivatayirjita sargo yesham samye sthitam mana. Whose mind rests in Brahman. Samya means in that Brahman. Tasmat Brahmanite sthitaha. So, right here, he discovers himself to be the truth underlying the whole universe. Not only underlying my individuality, it is underlying the universe also. It is the one truth, non-dual. This is what he understands it. Okay, this we'll see in the next class, 19th. Now 18th we have finished it today. 19th I think there is nothing much. We can proceed to the 20th also in the next class. 18, 19 put together is the same. And also 21 also. Anyway, we'll see in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om Tat Sat.